and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today, it's late at night right now, and I was trying to think of what I should film for a YouTube video, and somebody in Twitch chat earlier reminded me of my fail-safe. So I think that's what I want to tell you guys about today, because this is all about my brain and my creations and you saving that kind of stuff. So my fail-safe, and what I mean by fail-safe is, okay, every dungeon master that's been dungeon mastering more than like 4 years has been in this situation where your party TPKs and you don't want the game to end. You don't want them to make new characters. You don't want to have to start a new plot system. You don't have to weave them into the plot system that was already going on. Damn it, you just wish the TPK never happened. And you're so mad at yourself for TPK in the party. I have been there. I think we've all been there, to be completely honest. Well, a long time ago, I came up with a solution. I came up with a way to say, nah, next session, none of you guys are playing new characters. Your characters are all going to be revived. How? That's the how. So the idea is that your characters get revived, right? Your characters go off and can't die, and then they get revived, and then they do whatever they want to do. So in my mind, this happens in like a dungeon, or this happens in a boss room, this happens in a cave, this happens in an underground system, this happens in some place where somebody else could reach you if the bad guys just left. If the bad guys were like, haha, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, goodbye, and they left. You would be able to get to the party. That's like key here. That's like probably the opening requirement of this failsafe. The first thing that you need to understand about this failsafe is that it's a church. A church, like a religious organization, comes into these ruins, comes into these catacombs, comes into these caves, and finds the player characters and revives the player characters, okay? So that's kind of the gist of it, is that it's a religious organization that comes in and revives heroes and stuff. Here's the thing. This religious organization is definitely a religious organization, but they're also a company. They're also a corporation. They're also money makers. They have to make money for God, for the gods, right? So, what they do, so how this works, okay. Your player characters die. And next session, you come in and say your player characters are revived in a temple. This temple is the temple of the god that they're serving, but also the religious organization which looks for money. So they are revived, and they're like, oh my god, we're so glad that we revived you. We use Revivify, we use whatever, we use this 1,000 diamond, and we revived you, and we're so glad, you're a noble cause, and God doesn't want you to die yet, and so you're not gonna die, you owe us. Yeah, we revived you. Yeah, we revived you, so you owe us. You owe us. Not only do you owe us the 1,000 gold piece diamond, not only do you owe us that, you owe us extra for going into the dungeon and picking you up, bringing you back your body with all of your stuff, and bringing you back to life. So that's their game. That's their deal. That's the way that they roll. Is that people. They'll revive people, but then they'll be like, you owe us for reviving you. And how they do this, because you can't just be like, no, I'm gonna leave. They take a piece of your soul. So as they're reviving you, they take a part of your soul and they put it in a jar. And if they kill that part of your soul, if they snuff out that part of your soul, you die again. You die again. So they're like, you can either be complete and have this piece of your soul, and you owe us and pay your debt to us, or we'll just kill you again. And of course your player characters aren't going to be like, well, just kill me again. Well, I mean, some of them might, I might, but most people aren't going to be like, well, kill me again. Most people are going to be like, okay, what do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you want? And this is where your little dungeon master brain can just scramble off into the universe and come up with something fun. Me personally, they would have to do something not necessarily super lawful, but it's not the gods' people doing it. So they're just commissioning, you're just paying a debt to them by doing this not so lawful thing. So for me, it would be like, break into this museum and get this piece, this artifact of this god that we worship, get the artifact of the god so that we can have it in our possession. Or like, go to this nobleman's house and steal some jewels from him that we want. Something that it's like, okay, you're really gonna make me be evil right now? But yeah, they're really gonna make you be evil because they're not being evil. Remember, they're godly. They worship a god. They're godly. They're good. They're moral. They're just. They just run a business, and so a business got to do what it got to do, and so they this is their business. This is their business model. Their business model is to take adventurers who have died in locations, revive them for them, and then say, gimme, 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 gimme. It's very, very toxic, and but listen, like this kind of stuff doesn't exist in the real world. Like ambulance chasing people don't exist in the real world. You know what I mean? So like, gimme, gimme, you know what I mean? So in this church organization, I would imagine that this is a rather large church organization. And I would also imagine that other churches don't necessarily consider it a church. Everyone kind of knows about this church. Everyone kind of understands that this church exists, that these people who worship these people exist, and worship this God exists, but they don't necessarily like understand, one, the depths of how devilish it is, but they also kind of have just like ignored it because they're like, oh, they're godly. Oh, it's their way of worshiping a god. Like, it's their way of being godly. If you can't tell by now, there's actually a specific organization that in real life that this is based off of, that there's the inspiration for this failsafe. If you can't tell, it exists in the real world. So I'm telling you, it can exist in your world. And yeah, some people are going to be like, don't go near them. They're the blanks. Don't go near them. Like, some people are definitely going to be like very shy away from them and like scold them and like not be very nice to them. And like that also exists in the real world as well. So yeah, all of that kind of stuff is completely and utterly true, and all of that stuff can completely and utterly exist. And it does exist, and people just say, well, I'm going to worship my gods my way, and they can worship their gods their way. And it kind of ends up becoming an entire corporation that takes over an entire state in America. You know. So yeah, that is my failsafe. If the TPK happens, and I don't want the TPK to happen, these guys will come in, take the bodies, revive them with the catch that they have a piece of their soul. So if they want to be whole again, or if they don't want to die because killing the soul will kill them, they have to go do something for the church, and then the church in return will be like, oh my God, thank you so much, you're so godly, ha ha ha, and then like give them back their soul, right? They give them a piece of soul. But the thing that they have to do is not super godly. It's dirty work. It's gross. It's not good. And again, the kind of things that come to my mind is stealing a religious artifact from museums or crypts. You could do stealing a religious artifact from a crypt. That would be really cool. Or possibly doing something along the lines of like murdering someone, making someone pay up. I could see paying up. I don't know if I could see them authorizing the murder of someone, but I could definitely see them being like, you need to get this person to pay us, and like do whatever you need to do to get this person to pay us. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see them doing something like that, 100%. Anyways, this is just my fail safe, and I wanted to share it with you because that's what this YouTube channel is all about. It's just me sharing my ideas. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen to my silly little ramblings. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you want to catch me on Twitch, I'm on Twitch, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. So I'm on Twitch on the weekends. I don't do it on Saturday because on Saturday I'm playing D&D. So, it doesn't work on Saturday, but, I would super duper love to see you there. You are always welcome at my table, of course, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, by the way, someone please pick a trinket. I don't have a trinket picked out. I need to do another trinket to side quest because I need to get on those because I have a lot of trinkets to do. And I do not have a trinket picked out. So if you want to pick out a trinket, you should pick out a trinket and tell me in this video because I don't have a trinket picked out, and I literally hate picking out the trinket. It just makes me so upset. So you should do it for me. So yes. Okay. You're always welcome at my table. I love you so much. I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be a trinket to side quest.